Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's podcast. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe button, and hype if you're watching on the replay. Let's use in the chat. Hey, Helen G. Hey, Gwen. Hey, Clark. Hey, Wendy. Hey, Anne. So glad you caught live too, Anne. We have the same name. Hey, Connie Balmer. Hey, Marilyn. All right, let's turn this music off. Let's get to it, shall we? Let me take a sip of my tea, take a sip of yours. Lots of tea to sip today. Lots of royal tea. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who came to my last podcast. I also want to say thank you to Stephen Black. I am raising final pre-production funds for my candle line that I'm working on, and if that's something that you're interested in engaging with, go back and watch the last podcast, and I will also post a link to a blog post that I just wrote about this. But so far, thank you to Kelly Jen and Stephen Black, much appreciated. Let me just where is it now? Okay, yeah. You can go read about that if you want to, if you didn't catch that podcast. There is the link. Okay, let's get into today's main talking points. Let's start with, where should we start? All right, let's start with some good news. Now, Meghan and Harry have been supporting Cookie Queens, which is a movie about the Cookie Scouts, the Girl Scouts, and their seasonal sales. And the director, Alyssa Namaze, had actually pursued the Sussexes, mostly Meghan, to step on board as producers. Meghan herself has a background as a Girl Scout, and she spoke about this and her mother's involvement at the premiere. And it's been getting a lot of buzz. It was a big hit at Sundance. But it wasn't actually purchased at the festival. It took another 2 months for roadside attractions to actually buy the documentary, and Roadside did so with a promise to give the documentary a theatrical release. So it will be released in theatres in August. And they just released the first trailer, which is adorable. I can't play it, obviously, for copyright reasons. But if you just search on YouTube, Cookie Queen's official trailer, it's very cute. It's like all of the cute personalities. And aside from I think it's such great character building, having to pitch and sell to people. It's not easy. I think it's great character building for young girls for a good cause. And it also won, I think was it the Audience Award at the Essex SW Film Festival. I'm pretty sure it won an award there, because it also got some airtime there. And it's very likely that it will appear at, other festivals between now and August too. And who knows, maybe documentary for best Oscar, Golden Globes. Who knows? Definitely got the support of two incredible people. So congratulations to everybody involved in such a sweet, wholesome production. And let's be honest, we need that. Now, on to some annoying news. So, Harry and Meghan's last communications person moved on, but I think it was Meredith, she definitely put in a new culture where we are going to start clapping back at nonsense a lot more than what we used to. Having said that, even though I wasn't a major fan of Harry and Meghan's original PR team, I think the silent treatment worked relatively well for the time. I think now it's time for us to clap back and clap back a lot more. Not every single time, because, you know, pigs enjoy being told to shoo. They love any attention. But there comes every so often a time where you just have to say, no, we're going to say something. Just give me a sec, folks. I have to just, okay. Every so often there comes a time where you just have to say something. And this is one of those times. So, there is a editor at People. No, see, he's a former editor of People in US Weekly, and he now spends his time shilling gossip on his subscription newsletter. This is a Dan Wakeford. I think he's trying to do the same as like Tom Sykes and all these other ones with their Substacks. You know, a lot of the British royal reporters who basically just make up nonsense. Every so often they get leaky leaks, you know, from the palace, especially Tom Sykes. It's been well documented for a while that he's probably getting leaks from palace insiders, including William himself. And this Dan Wakeford seems to be taking on the model that he has. And remember that the hate campaign against Harry and Meghan is indeed a $1 billion industry. Always remember that. So people are going to want to still cash in while it's churning. And he's claiming that he has an exclusive that Harry and Meghan are wildly unhappy with a gutted operation and 1 million mortgages on their home. And something about how Harry doesn't like California anymore. It's like this is Timu Royal British Royal Tabloid reporting. This is like the Timu Sheehan version. Well, Harry and Meghan's spokesperson clapped back over his claims that the money is running out. And by the way, Harry and Meghan's spokesperson clapping back because the only reason that I'm even reporting on this, because otherwise I didn't even know who this person was or what their cute little Substack is. I wouldn't even be covering this story. So Dan Wakeford is a past editor of People in US Weekly, and both magazines was involved in publishing major PR fightbacks, but by the Duchess's aides and friends. An edition of his celebrity intelligence newsletter, though, says that the couple is unhappy and running fast out of money. The piece was based on interviews on so-called 5 anonymous sources. Newsweek understands that their finances are closely guarded, keeps secret, known to few staffers. Well, why would anybody else know Harry and Meghan's finances, and why would we even need to know? It's none of our business. So a spokesperson for Harry and Meghan said, the unnamed sources, once again, doing a lot of very heavy lifting in this report. If they had any faith or evidence to back up what they allege, I don't understand why they wouldn't just go on the record with such claims. Still, I suppose it makes writing a lot easier for Mr. Wakeford when you don't have an editor standing over you asking you to evidence or stand by it. One thing I'm going to say about Harry and Meghan spokespeople, if they're listening, I will say again that Harry and Meghan need official social media channels, even if they don't engage in those channels themselves, the way they used to have with Royal Sussex, right? They need one on Twitter and they need one on Instagram. Because it's all good and well releasing a statement like this. If I was not engaged in the royal space, I would never know this statement was released. The people who actually need to hear this statement, who believe the BS in these tabloids, will probably not hear the statement from Harry and Meghan's people. And I don't understand why Harry and Meghan's people themselves don't seem to understand this, right? The gossip from these tabloids travels further than your rebuttals. I'm sorry to tell you, guys, if you're listening, if friends of Harry and Meghan are listening, please tell them this. They need an official space on Twitter and on Instagram. You may not like these platforms, but there's still spaces where people get their news and share their news. You can lock the comments. You don't have to have Harry and Meghan engaging with them at all, but you need an official space where you get your official statements out when lies come out, or you are screaming into the void. if any of their spokespeople or friends and family are listening, you're having an awful lot of faith to believe that people are going to see your rebuttal at all. The hatred on the gossip goes way further. Sorry to tell you. Somebody please tell their spokesperson that. You know, I'm glad they clap back, but they can go harder. And they need more avenues to be able to push back harder. I don't understand why Archwell doesn't have more of a social media presence to share the work that they're doing, because the tabloids aren't going to share the work that they're doing. Like, I remember having a conversation with someone and telling them about, you know, Harry and Meghan's work with Kaboom and, you know, the playgrounds that they're building for children. They had no idea about any of that. But they will know about the nonsense written in the 20, 30, 40 articles by the Daily Mail, by the Daily Express, and all of this stuff. This tabloid and PR game is just that. It's a game. The loudest wins. Not the nicest, not the kindest gestures. You don't switch on the news and they say, oh, good evening, everyone. Here's the good news that happened in the world. You know how many scientific breakthroughs we've had this year? Have you seen them on the news once? No. It's good evening. Here's the ish that happened today, this week. And this is why Harry and Meghan need to do more on social media. Get the TikTok, get the Instagram, get the Twitter for your official statements and your official work. You know, Meghan posted on her Instagram like a rundown of what happened in Australia, which was very cute, but not everybody follows Meghan. Anyway, I also believe that all of this from this so-called Dan Wakefield and whatever, this is a continuation of the tantrum that they're throwing over the Australian tour. And this is all just part of a weeks-long distraction from their failed attempts to sabotage the tour, which was very successful. So now here we come with the Sussexes are broke. Hilarious. Mind you, I haven't even covered this story. But Pippa Middleton and James Matthews sold their so-called petting zoo that they had. I didn't even know that they had started one. They had to sell the property of the petting zoo. So you got other minor related royals going broke. Their petting zoos going bust. They're having to sell our properties. You've got William. Remember, everything is a projection with the royals, right? So William is liquidating assets, selling off farmlands, but it's Harry and Meghan who are broke. Can you see this? It's always projection. Always. So the royals that are actually going broke, they're not even reporting about that. It's Harry and Meghan that are going broke? Truly hilarious. Okay. Next thing. William the Hooligan. William really loves his football. So he loves his football more than working. So William went to Aston Villa, went to an Aston Villa match and they won. And he was really, oh, I just realised I got the the wrong slide up. Here we go. We'll get to Charles in a sec. William was really giving it the most. He was screaming and yelling like a true everyday football fan. The problem is that William is not an everyday football fan. He is a future king. And I think that this is a sorry attempt to make him look more relatable. I think it's once again the incompetent palace courtiers. Oh yeah, just go and show up and look like a normal guy and scream and yell like lad. Mind you, I don't think there's anything more unattractive than a man who's a bit too much into sports and engages in sports like a hooligan. It's not relatable to me. Maybe to some people. Now, William has had 1 week event this week. He went on a solo visit to a farm. He was hard at work looking at sheep, pointed at things and grabbed a box of pastries. That's what he did. While you are working your butt off, you're working your butt off to just afford to go to work because the price of travel is insane. And William is showing up to look at sheep and smile and wave here and there and grab a box of pastries. That was the sum of William's work schedule this week. He didn't attend Buckingham Palace's first garden party of the season, and he did not attend the Order of St. Michael and St. George yesterday. William, the heir to the throne, left his 77-year-old cancer-stricken father to be supported by a 90-year-old Duke of Kent. I will get into that in a minute, because Charles was pretty much just abandoned by the whole darn family. A 90-year-old physically disabled Duke of Kent and William have had the same number of work events this week. But William found time to watch an Aston Villa match in person. Anyway, congrats to Aston Villa. I'm surprised that William wasn't bad luck. He has a habit of being bad luck. I also think it's rather brave of William, actually, because he's been booed before. And then maybe he'll stop going to these matches and acting so unhinged in an attempt to seem normal. There's nothing normal about William. It's almost insulting to try. See what you're saying. Oh, sorry if I caused confusion with the live folks. I don't know if I confused you with the timings or something, but we are here. Clark, am I on Substack? I am on Substack, but I just haven't been able to post as regularly just because I've been so busy. But there's 2 articles on my Substack, yes. When I'm a bit more regular with it, I will share it again. Yeah, exactly. Young people get their info from social media, but you know what? Even the haters do. The haters do as well. It's important to be where your fans and haters are, so they get the message. Yeah, they lost their minds over the Australia tour because it was just so good. Yeah, if anything, it's the Middletons that are bankrupt. I don't normally go live around this time. Yeah. I'm glad to have you here, though. Yeah, William looking real unhinged. Helen, you said, well, on TikTok, it is like the second coming the way they are bigging William up for being one of the lads for going to Aston Villa football match. Anne and William and Kate are hosting another garden party. Isn't there usually just one garden party and it's the Monarchs? I don't remember them ever doing separate garden parties, but that's rather interesting. Thank you, Sharon, for mentioning that. All right, on to Charles and what he's been up to. Let's have a look now. One sec, folks. Let me just find the article. Let's have a look. Oh no, that's not the one. One moment. Oh yeah, here it is. Um, so apparently every 4 years, the monarch must wear a fruity bedazzled blue robe with excessive ribbons and golden ropes of tampon kingery and attend a service recognizing British people working overseas. Okay. If you say so. I mean, I love a bit of tradition. I just wish the tradition would be a little bit more modernized sometimes, but here we are. Today was the service for the Order of St. Michael and St. George. The last service was in 2020. So this was Charles's first one as king. Shockingly, none of the working royals below the age of 90 came out to support Charles. Not Prince William. Apparently, he hates wearing robes, and it's being said that he's actually going to phase them out of events. That's his way of modernizing. Remove the robes. Okay. As William was too lazy to work, he didn't even come to this. No Kate, because something early years program saved the children's brains. No Camilla, who had an equally random event at a fan museum, a literal museum for handheld fans. So she couldn't come and support Charles. No Edward or Sophie, because, I mean, does anybody want to see Edward or Sophie? So it was left to the poor Duke of Kent to support Charles. So Charles marked his first Order of St. Michael and St. George as monarch, and he was joined by his 90-year-old cousin at this service. You know what's the shame about this is that I am a big believer in retaining traditions. However, I feel that there needs to be space in these traditions for the common man and woman. They should not be spaces that only certain elite people get to partaking as part of a wider power structure. So I think what's a shame about things like this is, number one, how they have not been able to kind of bring them more into the modern age, and in order to engage younger people with cultural traditions, because I would regard this as a cultural tradition or traditional ceremony of the United Kingdom of England, right? So I just think with these things you need to make, if you want to keep them alive, if you say that you value them, if you say that they're part of culture and tradition, you need to find ways in this modern age of engaging young people and making them feel like they are part of the story and of the narrative. Because when I look at this, all I see is elitists in robes. I don't see how the young people of the United Kingdom of England look. I mean, they had like a young person, holding Charles's robe, but I don't know how they choose that young person. Is that the son or the daughter of someone within aristocratic circles? Is that somebody who's a normal working class boy? I don't know. But you can't expect people to engage in this if all they see is elitism. Then they're just not going to show any interest. I'm pretty sure if I showed these pictures to like 100 people walking the streets of London right now, how many people would even know that this ceremony took place? How many people even know that it takes place every 4 years? How many people even know what this is about? This is the first time I'm hearing of it. And I grew up in the United Kingdom. And yeah, what an absolute embarrassment that the Duke of Kent, who should be at home in his slippers, was the only one who came out for Charles. Not even Camilla. And Kate and her dresses are usually the only thing that brings any attention to the royals. And even she didn't show up. But she'll make sure she shows up to hold that shiny cup at Wimbledon. Anywho. There's that. Alrighty. Let's read your comments. Rahini, hey Rahini. By the way, is Andrew still in jail or did he get bail? I think he's been under house arrest or something since then. I don't even know. They've completely taken him out of the public consciousness. Absolutely no news on what the search warrant found other than his teddy bears in bed. He probably hid the teddy bears a while ago. And he's still being protected by taxpayer money. Yeah, he's never been in jail. He went to the police office or something and was in custody for like, what, a few hours and then let go. Wendy, you said William is very entitled and arrogant. A signal of what he will be as monarch. Yep. I keep saying, waiting for the day. Waiting for William's coronation very patiently. Whenever it comes. He's going to be the worst king in modern times. And the most entertaining, I promise. I'm fully looking forward to William's kingship. He will be crazy with power. He will not listen to any of those courtiers. He is in a one-sided battle to get back at his brother and Meghan. And it's going to backfire so spectacularly. All right, folks. Gonna leave things there. Thank you so much. As always, appreciate you so much. Wow, can you believe we are in May already? We're definitely gonna get another Sussex tour, aren't we? Or maybe two. It's only May. Got May, June, July, August, September, October, November. Nah, maybe just one more. Maybe just one more, but whenever we get it, I can't wait because Australia just gave us so much. And I need that at least once again before the year ends. I think if we get at least one more tour, another season of With Love Meghan, and I'm pretty sure they will drop like a movie project or podcast or something else before the end of the year. I'll be good with that for 2026. All right, folks. We will catch up tomorrow. Ciao.